Hey guys, welcome back to the Sullivan family. So today I am making a lentil, ham and pea soup. I haven't done this one before, but when I was in Tesco's the other day, they had some nice already cooked ham, but like chunky ham, and I thought that'd be nice in a soup. So I'm kind of just winging it, as I always do. I'm going to make like a lentil soup and whiz that up and then add the peas and the ham afterwards and cook it for a bit longer. I'm not following a recipe, guys, because I don't like recipes. So I'm kind of just, you know, if it goes wrong, it goes wrong. But I'm pretty sure it'll be all right. So, got my frozen onions. And I've got some lentils. So obviously I'm cooking for however many people. It'll probably be enough for about 8 to 10 portions. So I'm going to use about 500 grams of lentils. I'll probably put in half of those onions, which, what's that? 500 grams, so it's about 250, it's about 125 grams probably of onions-ish, 200 grams maybe. So yeah, I'm going to add them to the saucepan, add some vegetable stock and some ham stock. The ham stock really just for the extra flavour. So I think lentils are about, I think it's 3-to-1 ratio on water. So if there's like 500 grams, then you need like 1.5 litres of water. Is that right? Yeah, you'd need about, to about that. So I'll probably do about 800 ml of vegetable stock and about 800 ml of ham stock, because if it's not enough, because lentils do tend to just blow up when you put them in the pan, and if it's not enough, then I can add more water should I need to. I'd rather it be not enough than too much, because you can't really take the water out, so it just makes it runnier. Obviously, if you do make lentil soup and leave it, like I'll leave it on the stove and we'll come back to it later, but it does thicken up over time, so you might have to add just a little bit of hot water, and that will just, you know, make it not so thick. So right, I'm going to start. It's just random sweets everywhere from Halloween last night. I'll show you, hang on. Look under the high chair. There's all the Halloween buckets, because I've literally got nowhere else to put them. All the kids went out trick-or-treating last night and they've come back with that many sweets. It's actually ridiculous. Now I can't get back to the right position. Right, look, I've just got so many sweets. The buckets were full. It was brilliant. They had great fun. And the houses down behind us, the whole estate had done just like, it was brilliant. There's so many houses decorated, and they were all like properly decorated out the front. They looked brilliant, and there were so many kids out, and everybody was dressed up, and you know, had makeup on. Everybody had gone to town, and it was really good, and the kids had a really good time. Even Joseph put his Iron Man suit on, which he's actually had since last Christmas and never worn yet. He actually put his costume on, and he tried to put it on earlier in the day, bless him, because he really wanted to go out, but he couldn't put it on. He didn't like the feel of it, but then he decided at the end of the day that he wanted to try again, so he put it on, and now I can't get him to take it off. So now he's still wearing it. He sat there in the lounge with his Iron Man costume and his mask on, and he won't take it off. So we've gone from one extreme to the other now, but bless him, he put his costume on and he came out, and for once it was really mild last night. It didn't rain. Last year, I think Ben went out with them last year, and it just absolutely poured down. I think it was the year before COVID. I don't remember if we went out or not, but I just remember that it seems to rain every year, and or it's really cold. Last night they even went out without coats on last night. They did. I took them with us, and by the end of the kind of walk around, they were quite cold, so they put their coats on. But they went around the whole without having any coat on. Sorry, people keep walking down the stairs. Yeah, it was really mild. It was really nice. So it was just good. Right, I shut up talking and get on. I'll just move all the random biscuits and crisps out of the way. So I'm just going to literally put in, I mean, obviously you can use fresh onions if you want, but as I said before, I just find frozen onions just so much easier, because I'll buy onions and I'll use one or two, and then the rest of them just kind of end up going bad. I guess you could chop your own onions and freeze them. I guess that would work as well if you wanted to. Maybe I should do that. Anyway, this saves chopping them. So put in half of that. Frozen onions. I mean, obviously you can have more onions if you really want to. And I like onions, but some of the kids aren't as keen. So right. So I'm just going to put the lentils straight in. So that's literally lentils and onions. I'm just going to make up some stock and then I'll be back. Right. So that is about, I mean, you can buy, I think you might buy ready-made stock if you want to. I just use an OXO cube, make it up. So that's about 800 grams. I don't know about anybody else, but I love the smell of vegetable OXO cube. It smells lush. Right, so I'm just going to add that straight in. And then I'm going to do the same with the ham stock. I just use a ham stock cube. But again, I guess you can buy ham stock. I just find it easier to buy the stock cube. My kettle's going to run out. Right. Wait for this to dissolve. Like I said, you can, you know, added, it's roughly 3 to 1 with lentils. So I've put about 1.6 litres in to 500 grams, but it's probably more than 500 grams. But you know what I'm like with measurements. I don't like measurements very much. I just put in what it looks right. That's why we always end up with like chili flakes and stuff, or random pepper or anything, just to, you know, make it taste nice. It normally works out alright. Oh, it's all broken up. Right, and then add this in as well. And then I'll literally just put it on, I'll bring it to the boil and then simmer it for probably about 20 minutes until all the lentils have puffed up and softened, really. I mean, you can leave it, it depends how, I like mine to be really soft so that I can, excuse me, blend them. But you can, I mean, if you don't necessarily want to blend it, you could have it, because they're quite soft anyway, you could have it chunky. You can leave them for not quite as long if you want them to have a little bit of a bite. But I like to have mine like soft so that I can blend them. So I'll leave that for about 20 minutes and get the ham and the peas ready. Right, again, I'm going to use frozen peas because it's just easier using, like, you know, there's nothing wrong with using frozen or tinned, you know, vegetables and things like that. Sometimes it's a cheaper option. Quite a lot of the time you'll have things like peas and stuff in the freezer, so it's something that you can make at the last minute. I've normally got lentils, I've normally got peas. I might not always have ham, but you know, you can normally put something together. I know you can buy, like, you know, fresh peas and everything, and that's great, but for ease, for quickness, and they're just as healthy, it's just frozen peas. So I'm just going to put them in a bowl to defrost a little bit. That's too many because Liv doesn't want many peas in. She said to me, "You're going to put many peas in?" I was like, "No, I'll take some out." She likes everything else, she's just not overly keen on peas. I love peas. The twins love peas, little twins. Absolutely love peas. Like, we could just just on their own. I could eat them. I like peas with rice actually as well. I'm just going to do like a bowl full, leave them to defrost for a bit, that cooks. But like I said, you can add as many as you like really. Right, ham. I've got to find it. Right, so I got these last week because they were 2 for £3.50, and I thought I can use them, I can chop them up small, and they look quite nice. So I'm just going to chop them up. Find a knife. Find a good knife. Get a bowl. I'm not doing very well on my preparation here, am I? Bowl. I meant to cook this last week actually, but I didn't. The ham was still fine till 8th. That's nice. So yeah, I'm literally, I mean, you can either just shred it. Could shred it. That might be easier actually, just to shred it. Or cut it. I think I might just shred it actually. I'm going to add it afterwards. I guess if you wanted a really smooth soup and you just wanted the flavour, you could blend it up with the ham in it, but I'd rather have the chunks of ham. So I'm just going to literally pull it all. You could obviously use ham, you know, fresh ham as well. You could buy and cook it yourself if you wanted to, and then a bit like pulled pork, I guess, really. I make it sound like I know what I'm talking about, I don't really. Do you like ham in soup? Right. I mean, I haven't got loads of ham, but I figured it would be enough. You know, you don't need loads when you're making a soup, do you? You just need sort of a little bit, really. I think as well, that when I normally make lentil soup, I normally do it with carrots. So it's like a carrot and lentil soup. And I think you could probably do that with this as well. So you could make normal carrot and lentil soup, sorry, and just add in the ham as well. But just put the ham on the floor. I didn't have any carrots. In fact, I need to go shopping because I don't have very much food. My fridges are a bit bare. So that's the next video, is a shopping haul. So I've got to go shopping this evening. Because apart from a house full of sweets, we haven't got very much. There's no fruit left, they ate it all. There's not much frozen. There's only a loaf of bread, which will only don't last very long. And there's only 1 bottle of milk. And the cupboards are a bit bare. And the baby is just eating everything. So I need to go and get some shopping this evening. We do have a box of Heroes. I don't know how they sneaked in. I bought them for a day out at Landmark, snacks, and they didn't get eaten. So I always take loads of food because we've been before and the kids get so hungry when they're there running around all day. So I take lots of food because they just snack all day long. So it's easier just to take lots of food so they don't get hungry. Like in the summer we take like extra drinks because, you know, those sorts of things, when you go out on a day out, are the things that add to the cost of everything. Is having to buy drinks and having to buy snacks. And although sometimes it's nice to get, you know, something while you're out, when there's 14 of you, it can be quite expensive to do that. Right, so ham done. I mean, if you want it chopped up really small, you could chop it up really small, but I quite like it chunky. And it will break down a little bit. I'm not going to cook it for too long, but it will break down a little bit when it goes in. So I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave that to cook for a little bit longer, and I'll be back. Right, so I did add more water. I probably added about another half a litre because it was too thick. So that would kind of make it 4-to-1 on the lentils with water rather than 3-to-1. But there was probably more lentils than 500 grams as well. So it's a little bit of trial and error really. you can always add more water, just as long as you don't like leave it to boil dry. Just keep an eye on it. You can just, if it looks like there's not enough water, just add a bit more. So that's what I did. Anyway, that's pretty much cooked up. So I am going to blend it down. It smells nice. Right, see if my blender will reach that far. I'll move you. I'd love one of those proper blenders, because the only thing with using these are great, but like if you pull it up out of the water, it's going to spit at you when it's hot. Anyway, I'm going to give it a blend. Right, pretty blended. So I'm going to put it back on. Going to pull this over here a little bit more. Oh, sorry. It's really awkward. I've got nowhere better to put it. Right, I'm going to add a bit of pepper. Add the peas. Just adding them straight from frozen. And I'm going to add the ham. Then I'm going to put it back on boil. As I said, the ham is already cooked, so it won't need very long, so I'll probably just leave it for 5 minutes once it comes to the boil. I maybe didn't need to add quite as much water, but it's a little bit thin, but in saying that, it does normally thicken up. Lentils do normally thicken up, and it's going to be left on the stove till later, so yeah, I'm just going to leave that for about 5 minutes, just to kind of warm it through really and defrost the peas. 5-10 minutes, and then I'll come back. Okay, so that's it, it's done. I'll show you. Looks yummy. I've added some chilli because obviously I add chilli to everything. We don't have to, but I always add chilli. But yeah, it looks quite nice, tastes quite nice. It's not one I've done before, but hopefully everybody will like it. I'll come back and show you what it looks like when they go to eat it later. Right, so that's it. I've just come in here because the kitchen is really noisy. Dinner is done. They all like the soup. We're going to have ours later. It turned out really nice, actually. I'm quite impressed. It's kind of a made up one. I know you can get like that soup anyway, but it's just kind of didn't follow a recipe is what I mean. Not claiming that I made the actual soup up, but anyway, you know what I mean. Anyway, we're still Halloween decorations up. They need to come down tonight. It's gonna be Christmas soon. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Don't forget to drop us a like and subscribe if you are not subscribed already. Check out the link tree for all our links to Facebook, TikTok and Instagram, and we will see you excuse me, in the next video. Bye.